Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're really digging into a very specific kind of automation tool. It's aimed at solving what sounds like a massive headache for places like sports bars, managing tons of TVs and cable boxes without needing like an IP pro on staff. We're focusing on the WolfPadLite Comcast cable box tablet TV control system. Quite a mouthful.
Yeah, and our goal today is really for you, the listener, to get a handle on the business thinking behind this thing. It's not just about the specs. We want to figure out how they built this, pretty powerful AV control system that, non-technical people think waitresses, bartenders could just pick up and use. And importantly, how they're doing it so much cheaper than the big guys. So the basic problem is just chaos, right? You imagine having, say, 16 Comcast boxes locked away somewhere, and you've got maybe 36 TVs out front, trying to change channels using those little remotes that need line of sight, or calling an installer all the time. It sounds like a nightmare.
Exactly. It's a huge waste of time and super frustrating for the staff. What WolfPadLite does is, it tries to simplify all that. They figured out the real pain points are fiddling with the boxes and the confusing controls, so they put everything onto one tablet screen, an interface they say is intuitive, all the complexity is hidden in their own code, and this is the kicker. They stress that it needs absolutely no programming knowledge, none, for setup, for use, nothing. That simplicity is really their whole angle.
Okay. Let's talk about who exactly they're aiming this at, because that seems super important for why it's designed this way. They actually list them. Sports bar owners, the non-techie ones, waitresses, hostesses, bartenders, even DJs. So yeah, definitely people whose job isn't messing with AV gear.
Precisely. So the main selling point isn't, fancy features. It's about making life easier for the staff and the owner. They literally promise the owner they will never be called at home to fix the TV matrix. Think about that. That's a huge relief for a small business owner. When you make it easy and quick to get the big game on 10 different screens, suddenly your staff is happier, more efficient. It's really designed to cut down stress.
And the scale here isn't trivial either. We're not talking like 4 TVs in a waiting room. This system handles up to 16 Comcast receivers, feeding up to 36 TVs.
Yeah, that's significant capacity.
And they mentioned this any in to any out thing. So any box can go to any TV or a combination of TVs.
Right. And to juggle all that, you need some kind of smart control system, but the key is making it invisible to the person using it. So the control method gets rid of the actual Comcast remotes entirely. The staff just taps on the tablet, and that sends out an IR command.
Infrared, right?
Infrared, yeah. Little cables, IR emitters, stick right onto the front of the cable boxes in the rack. They basically mimic the signal from the original remote, but it's a direct command, no need to point anything across a noisy bar.
And interestingly, the bar owner doesn't have to buy some special expensive tablet from them either. The app, the WolfPadLite app, works on pretty much any standard tablet. iPad, Amazon Fire, Samsung, other Androids.
That's a nice touch. It keeps the hardware costs down for the business owner, adds flexibility.
Okay, so let's get to the big question, the hardware and the price. They listed at $1,250, which when you hear the comparable systems can cost, what was it?
Up to $10,000, sometimes more, depending on the features and brand.
Wow. So yeah, how on earth do they sell a 16 by 36 control system for like the price of a decent laptop?
Okay, this is where their model gets really interesting. They basically specialize in repurposing. The core of the system, the brain, if you will, isn't some brand new piece of custom silicon. It's a modified, pre-owned Crestron rack mount controller.
Crestron, they're like the Rolls-Royce of custom home and commercial automation, right? Super expensive stuff usually.
Exactly. High-end, robust, American-built gear. So what WolfPadLite seems to do is take this reliable, pre-owned Crestron hardware, wipe it clean, and load their own specific single-purpose software onto it. This gives them that powerful control engine, but at a tiny fraction of the cost of new hardware.
Ah, okay. So they provide that modified box, their software, the app, and the IR cables needed.
Correct. Up to 16 of those IR cables.
That makes a lot of sense economically. It's clever. But it does raise some questions maybe about long-term support. We can circle back to that. But yeah, for a small business, that drastically lowers the entry cost. It's really important, though, for anyone listening to understand what you don't get for that $1,250.
Crucial point. You're buying the control system only.
You still need the big, expensive part, the actual video matrix switch that physically routes the HDMI signals.
Right. And you need your Comcast receivers, obviously, and the tablet itself isn't included.
And also, space. That modified Crestron unit needs 3U in an equipment rack.
Yeah, it's not tiny. For those not familiar, U is a standard rack unit, about 1.75 inches, so 3U is over 5 inches tall. You need space in your rack.
Okay, but the financial side gets even better, it seems. No ongoing fees.
That's a huge selling point. No monthly fees, no yearly license, no subscriptions. Buy it once, own it.
That's massive for small business budgets. Predictable cost.
Totally. And they throw in free shipping and a 60-day free return policy, no restocking fee, so it lowers the risk of trying it out.
What about getting it installed? Network stuff can be a pain.
They actually say you don't need a separate dedicated Wi-Fi network just for the control system. Apparently, the bar's existing Wi-Fi, even the guest network, is good enough.
Interesting. That definitely simplifies things. No need to call in a network technician just for this.
And here's a potential hiccup. Because it's proprietary code matched to your specific gear, they need info from the customer first. Like, what names do you want for your inputs? ESPN, CNN, Game One, whatever.
Okay, makes sense.
And they need the exact model numbers of the Comcast boxes you're using, presumably so the IR codes are correct.
Right.
Now, they say remote setup is possible, but for many customers, it seems the standard process involves the customer actually mailing their iPads to WolfPadLite.
Wait, really? You have to send them your tablets?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
They load the custom program directly onto the iPad, then ship it back, unless you buy some extra controller piece for remote loading.
Huh. That definitely adds a step and some downtime to the setup.
It does, but it highlights just how closed this system is. It's self-contained, requires that hands-on custom load.
Okay, all right. Let's shift gears to using it. The user experience. Let's picture it. I'm the bartender, Friday Night Rush, need to change a TV. I pick up the tablet. What do I see?
It's designed to be, well, really straightforward. A single screen shows everything. It's basically a two-step dance. First step, find the source you want, maybe a button labeled Big Game. You tap it, that button turns gray, and the name Big Game pops up at the top so you know what you've selected.
Okay, so it confirms my choice visually, like picking up the right virtual remote.
Exactly. Second step, look over to the right side of the screen. You'll see buttons for all your TVs, say TV 1 through 36. Any TV already showing the Big Game will also have its button turn gray.
Instant feedback.
Right. Now you just tap the button for any other TV you want to switch to the Big Game. Tap TV 5. Boom, TV 5 now shows the Big Game.
Simple enough. Tap source, tap destination TV. Done.
Pretty much. That visual confirmation is key, like you said. No guesswork in a busy moment.
What if I mess up? Tap the wrong TV.
They thought of that. They have this undo function baked in. Let's say you tap TV 7 by mistake, and now it's showing the Big Game, so its button is gray. If you just tap that gray TV 7 button again, it switches back to whatever channel it was on before you tapped it.
Oh, that's smart. Quick oops recovery. Hit it again to undo.
Yeah, minimizes the oh crap moments during a rush.
Okay, so that's routing. But what about actually changing the channel on the Comcast box itself? Like going from channel 201 to 202?
Good question. Once you've selected a source, like that Big Game receiver, there's a bank of buttons over on the left side of the screen. These control the selected receiver.
So channel up, down, numbers, guide, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And here's where we found that slightly funny detail in their documentation. Even though this is specifically a Comcast control system, the manual says the buttons on the left work exactly like the buttons on your original DirecTV remote.
Wait, DirecTV, not Comcast. That's odd. Why would they do that?
Well, think about it from a user interface perspective. For years, the DirecTV remote layout was arguably the most common, most recognized standard for navigating channels and menus in the U.S.
Okay, like a QWERTY keyboard. Everyone just knows it.
Kind of, yeah. So by mimicking that very familiar DirecTV layout, even for a Comcast system, they leverage what people likely already know. It reduces the learning curve even further for the staff. They're prioritizing usability and familiarity over strict brand consistency.
That actually makes a weird kind of sense. Don't make people relearn basic channel surfing. Okay, but here comes maybe the biggest operational question for a busy place. Multiple staff members. Can more than one person use a tablet at the same time?
Right. This is where we hit a pretty significant limitation. You can have multiple iPads connected to the system looking at the app, but fundamentally, it's architected as a single-user system.
Hold on. Single user in a sports bar with maybe 5-10 staff running around. How does that even work? If I need to change the TV over the bar and my colleague needs to change one out on the patio at the same moment.
Yeah, that's the rub. You'll likely get interference, conflicts, unpredictable behavior. If one person is actively tapping commands, another person trying to do the same thing on a different iPad will probably mess things up.
So Only one person can actually control things at any given time.
Essentially, yes. Now, the system is clever enough that the other iPads will apparently show what the first user is doing, so you can see the system is busy. But it forces your staff to coordinate, like, okay, I've got the control now, or are you done changing channels?
Wow, okay. That's a major trade-off for that low price point. Simplicity and cost versus simultaneous operation.
It is. It's likely a direct consequence of keeping the hardware and software logic simpler and therefore cheaper.
So, wrapping this up then, what's the main takeaway for someone trying to understand this WolfPadLite system? It seems like it really delivers on large-scale AV control. That 16 by 36 capacity is serious. But it achieves its impressively low price by being laser-focused on operational simplicity for non-tech staff, and by using that specific strategy of modifying older, reliable Crestron hardware.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. From a business perspective, especially for the target market, that low upfront cost and zero ongoing fees are incredibly attractive. But, and this brings us to that final thought for you to chew on, that very reliance on proprietary code running on specifically modified pre-owned hardware, even with a decent warranty, like the 5 years they mentioned on the controller. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you invest in a system like this, so specialized, so locked down, what are the real long-term implications? 10 years from now, what happens if you need a replacement part or need it to work with some new TV tech? How does that compare to systems built on more modern, maybe open or cloud-based standards? Is that significant initial saving worth the potential risk of being locked into a very specific, perhaps eventually obsolete ecosystem?